So big round of applause for Neil Osment, regular attendee and presenter, UK Corrugated update.
Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you, Katie. For those that don't know, Katie's my sister, so this is a family thing. Katie, imagine what Mum and Dad would think. Richard Noble, Jack Straw, Andrew Willard. Doesn't get better than that, does it? Actually, I have a huge connection with Andrew, not just that we're good friends now, we've been good friends for 34 years, and he gave me my first management position in the corrugated industry, so there you go, all part of the family. I wanted to start, after a year and a half of not seeing you all, maybe just to reflect on what's happened in the last year and a half. And for those people that don't know me, Neil Osment, run a business, a consultancy business called Noah Prism. Most of you know me, and quite a lot of you take advantage of the services that we have, but just in case you didn't know. So what I wanted to do is just have a quick dash through what's happened for us. And us, I talk about in the wider sense of fibre and Europe. So, and the reason I'm doing this is because somebody asked me to do this presentation 2 weeks ago, and I thought, I expect the corrugated industry will be interested too. So, and I've let you draw down on there. The thing that Tim was talking about, the services that we offered with the Sheep Plant Association, one of the things was the Zoom meetings that we had. And it was fascinating to see developing over a 6 to 8 week period. Oh, I'm a bit busy. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. And that was in about November, December time. I was having the same conversation with people in mainland Europe saying the same thing. And demand had rocketed by, and the UK a little bit more than mainland Europe. 10-15%. The majors, as I say, shifting work around. Amazon themselves, biggest consumer of corrugated in the world, frightening. The fact that they could ring fence both box capacity and paper capacity, and they'll continue to do that. And there's some interesting things about Amazon, come back to them in a sec. And just the size of our industry, that it grew 3 or 4%. As Andrew indicated, in the report that we did for the Sheep Plant Association, underscored, under-predicted what we would do in 2021. I guess if I'd known that there was a global pandemic, that might have caused me to think differently. But the growth of the European market, plus 3 or 4% last year. And just look at that figure of 30 million tonnes, and we'll come back to that in a sec. Lead times for boxes gone out, as you will remember. So what's happened in 2021? The Brexit, for sure, has caused the UK additional noise in our industry. And that's been product coming in, so we had lorries held up with paper, product being able to be shifted, moved around, so distribution made hard, paperwork slowing the whole process down. People kept saying to me, why is it we've got a problem when there was 4 new recycling mills coming on board? And this question will be answered, I think, in further detail later on, but they just weren't able to get the fibre that they needed, and we'll come back to that. Lead times for new boxes, instead of being 5 to 7 days, going out to 10 weeks, and the first of many price increases. I think it may be as many as 5 that we've had over this year. And European demand, so this is not just the UK, European demand for corrugated, 5%. So it was 3 to 4% last year, 5% now. So it's happening everywhere that there's a huge demand. And we experienced recycled paper shortages Q1, Q2, and virgin papers later on, Q3, this Q3 and into this month. But it's not just us, and this was the audience that I was speaking to 2 weeks ago, because they're saying it's mayhem, it's absolute mayhem in cartons at the moment in Europe. Why is that? So they, in that market, noticed last year recycled materials, so fibre was in short supply, as happens with this, so the price increases, doubled. And Frauke provides that information. You look at the information that she's providing through Oivid, very interesting. Paper mills started to lose money. That was a really important thing, and they were publicly explaining that. And look at the size of the market. It's a fifth of our market. Price increases being imposed by these unprofitable factories, mills, and folding carton companies trying to recover those cost increases. But they've got agreements with their customers that actually hamstring them, that they're not able to recover that. So actually the lack of profitability moved from mills now into folding carton companies. And they're experiencing a short supply, and now it's a case of, would you like some cartons? And not asking, do you want it in virgin or do you want it in recycled? They just said, I'm going to supply it in whatever material I've got. So that's what's occurring in the carton market. So let's just extend that. We had the privilege of doing some work with a person in the room here who's a member of the Association for Honeycomb. It's been fascinating, a fascinating insight into a small niche market that uses paper as its raw material, growing so far 15% year on year. That demand and the growth alone that's going to occur equates to one paper mill. And that's a niche market, one paper mill, average size paper mill. And, you know, to buy a paper mill. Anybody got an idea how much it is to invest to get a new paper mill, roughly? Well, somewhere between those two figures, 100 and 350 million, something like that. So a lot of money. And that's one industry, one niche industry in the paper industry. EU legislation is influencing that growth because of driving out EPS, but that's a part of that. And amazing things that you discover when you do research in sectors. The use of honeycomb in cars in the European market. It's just fascinating. Giving strength and safety and security to cars, but allowing lightweighting, and the end game would be electric cars, but actually it's being used in existing cars now. So it's amazing. Another industry, the paper bag industry. And I mentioned about Amazon. Amazon have started using paper bags to be able to deliver product. Anybody noticed that? A few nodding heads. The reason they're doing that, I don't think, is because they necessarily have taken environmental change, because they can't get plastic. So they would have sent stuff in plastic. Last year, the plastic industry was amazingly busy. So as busy as we are. So actually it's shortage of material. So necessity has driven Amazon, the biggest purchaser of packaging in the world, to find an alternative. And it's interesting, there have been some things in the folding carton industry that have been driven by that. So necessity has driven change. There we go, as you said on the bottom there. So what about us? What about us in the UK? So I show this one to show the direction of travel. I remember here. I wondered if I was going to have a business. I wondered if people would want to use the services that we offer. And fairly quickly, the industry took the same jump as we did. We were incredibly busy, and we've been incredibly busy ever since. Our industry up and down over the last year, but overall 2.3%, 2.4% growth, and that massive jump in that last quarter, in fact those last months. So you can see the figures. So this is this year. So purple is this year, yellow is last year. Every purple is bigger than the yellow. So we're growing every month in the UK. The only thing I'm not quite sure of, and talking with people, I think it's been flat, or actually it's been a chance to draw breath. What I'm hearing in September is it's equally as busy as it's been for the rest of the year. So that was the thing. What did Jack Straw say? If the facts change, I change. So for those people that bought my sheep plant report, the facts are slightly out of date. The direction of travel's right. The industry is going to grow by a factor of 2, and the corrugated industry for sheep plant demand will grow by a factor of 3. Just happens to be that instead of it 2%, 3%, as Andrew put up there, it's more likely. My prediction is that we'll grow about 8% overall, and that we'll grow about 15% in the sheep plant market, which is astounding. And so Andrew talking about another well-organized company coming into our industry is a necessity for our customers just to be able to keep up. So very important. So just to round up, 21 growing even faster than 20, and 20 was positive. Overall, over the last 2 years, 16% growth for the UK sheep plant market. You can see what's happened with mixed waste in pounds for our industry, so more than doubled. you'll hear later on a real peach of an interview that Tim had with Mike D'Angelo from AICC. But the American market is very busy, slightly busier than us. Fiber's in tight supply. Paper's in tight supply. Sheet is in short supply. Corrugated demands remain very, very positive from our customers. Genuine demand. In the folding carton industry, it's a bit panic, and the demand is not as high as from customers as it is from supply. But our corrugated demand is high, and that's because of e-commerce. And customer service is really key. Katie was talking to me about a company. Was it Northern Railways? You say Northern Railways. Ultimate customer service is really important. It's not good enough to go, I'll call you back and I'll look after you. You've really got to look after your customers. And if you do it, that differentiator will make a huge difference in our industry. So ultimate customer service, I think, is the place to focus, and recovery of price increases, I guess. Here we go. Thank you.